从远方飞来的光点瞬间成为橘红色的火球之后消失，战火让外界看到以色列铁穹飞弹防御系统的威力。
It's also effective because it's able to use initially just algorithms and now AI-enabled algorithms to figure out and predict where the incoming threats are likely to land and determine whether they constitute something that needs to shoot down or not. So if an incoming missile, for example, or rocket is going to hit an uninhabited area, Iron Dome will ignore it and focus its attention on those threats that are likely to hit a populated area or a target it's trying to protect.
不断挡下攻击，跟一枚$1000的飞弹相比，铁穹出动一次就要烧掉$5万，也就是超过150万台币。也因此传出，同样由拉斐尔防御公司出品的铁梁雷射防空系统也准备展开部署。
The Iron Beam system is not operational yet, so it's expected to be operational later this year or early next year. So it's not yet being used in the Israel-Hamas conflict right now. But it's expected to be or planned to be a 100-kilowatt laser, which is about the minimum size you need in order to be able to shoot down a rocket or a missile.
这种利用雷射加热来摧毁目标的方式，虽然受到距离还有天气的限制，但发射一次成本只需要$2块，连100块台币都不到。因此，铁梁在以巴战火当中也多次被提起。其实，不只是以色列这种定向能量武器，已经成为各国积极开发的新武器模式。美国五角大厦一年至少投入10亿美元的预算在进行研发。
The people I talk to, they say, we're in a good place right now for directed energy. It's out there on ships. The Army's testing it. Air Force is testing it with Thor, for example. But there's still a ways to go. In fiscal 2023, they requested $670-ish million for unclassified research and testing. And then about $345 million for unclassified procurement.
美国其实早在冷战时期就在研发雷射武器，目前大部分也是用在照明还有锁定目标。不过现在也能摧毁敌方的武器，使用的方法其实就跟工业切割等相关设备的使用相当类似。
HEL basically just focuses a beam or beams of energy to cut, melt, inflict heat damage on whatever target you want. But because it takes time to inflict that damage, it does have some issues with, you have to stay on target. You have to maintain that. But it doesn't need a manual reload like a rifle or a tank.
目前美国的海陆空军都在研发以及安装相关雷射武器。
We're going to start with 100 kilowatt class lasers and then scale the powers. The beam powers up, and the beam directors and everything else you need to get those beams on target up over time to first handle these kinds of drone missions and then move into cruise missile threats and then finally into strategic missile threats. So you might think, ballistic missiles, hypersonic weapons, and the like.
之前洛克希德马丁研发的太阳神系统已经交付，就准备安装在多艘神盾驱逐舰上。尽管研发测试的费用高达上亿美元，但因为发射的成本低，因此也认为是未来武器的发展重点。
The current generation of U.S. Navy destroyers will carry Helios, and that's probably about the most they can power on a continuous basis and cool on a continuous basis. The Flight 3 destroyers that are being built now have more spare power capacity, and so the idea would be they're going to be supporting a 150 to 300 kilowatt laser within their own power capacity and cooling capacity.
但根据国际法规规定，这种雷射武器不能对人造成直接性攻击，只能应用在摧毁武器等方面。因此，美军也安装在野战防空战斗车上，利用雷射摧毁无人机。尤其无人机作为攻击武器的应用越来越广泛的时间点上，不同类型的定向能量武器的应用更是如虎添翼。
So high power microwave can be very effective, and it requires less time on target, so you can do that in milliseconds. You can disrupt the electronics and force a drone, for example, to reboot, and it causes it to lose its mission and has to turn home or something. So you're seeing, high power microwaves making its way into air defense missions, but there's this concern about fratricide and the beam width, and that's something that they'll have to engineer out.
不只是美国，中俄两国也积极在雷射武器上砸下大笔资金，纷纷表态研发出突破性武器。但专家认为，印太地区受到天气变化影响大，应用范围以及精准度可能无法像中东或是欧美表现这么好，但仍旧是亚太各国积极研发的主要武器项目之一。TVBS 新闻综合报道。